I. Um, all right, so we went to eat at the Serbian festival. I met with the priest that was there. It was pretty awesome. Um, when we came to eat, like there was so many lines, and I had to be back. We're not allowed out past when it's dark. So I'm like, Steven, let's go over there and eat lamb and pork. And we didn't know what it was. It just like meat. So, we bought it. We bought like $20 worth, which is it's not a lot, by the way, because it's a festival. We're trying to raise money. I ate it. Look at mindfulness eating. I ate it. I smelled it. I tasted it. I took it home. I analyzed it again in the same way. There was a good purpose for that too. Sounds really weird, like, what is he doing with food porn? And I could smell its life, the life of the lamb, and I could smell the life of the pork through the food. And usually we Buddhist monks remind ourselves that an animal died for your sake of living. Therefore, do something with your life that is useful and for the benefit of others, instead of eating, pooping, and sleeping and wasting your life away. And so now I'm staying up late at night. My sleep pattern's weird because I'm trying to get this book done. Quite frankly, I have suffered through the whole year of contemplating on this book. So I'm noticing a lot about my body, how much water intake it's needed. The most mindfulness comes at night of my own body, when I'm observing it, that it gets hungry, that it wants things, that it's wanting me to go out and exercise. It's asking for stuff, the nurturing of one's body, just the maintenance, just the routine, regular maintenance of one's body. So every time when you eat and it has meat in it, always remind yourself that an animal died, which in Buddhism, a human died. This animal was once human in somewhere down the rebirth realm, and that I should, do the best I can today in using the energy out of this food, the calories out of this food, to benefit other people. And if I can't benefit other people, well, at least don't hurt them. So she sent me the link.
Thank you for that.
It's not a guilt trip kind of thing or anything like that of that nature, but you have to understand there's people out there that just eat, poop, and sleep, and do drugs and sell drugs and not follow the Eightfold Path, does not engage in right livelihood, right speech. So it's not a good thing. And to counter that guilt, the natural guilt of eating an animal, one would dedicate one's body, speech, and mind for the benefit of others. Unable to install updates. You see, Stephen? You see? I got it. I got it back up here. Figure this out for me, Stephen. Unable to reset this thing. Let me see this. Go ahead. So I told you, some of the finest machines you can get on the market right now. And it fails. First noble truth. Getting something that one does not want is suffering. Oh my God, this is not even it for that. We're in panic mode right now. Reset. Just you reset it first.
Okay.
Gotta back up here. This is for reading off of it. And this is exciting because it has to do with clinical. Now what I'm about to tell this gal, what we're about to do today, is the different type of potent medicines that we use to treat the human conditions. And you learn how to do judo. Besides the 2 basic meditations, you know what to do when crap really hits the fan. You have objects of meditation to use. So you guys get to hear some really good stuff. This is one of them, and I've never heard a monk expand on the 4 objects. Let me see that. So take a lot of mental notes when I'm. If you see me start picking up this laptop, reading off of it, it's really important and it has direct clinical applications. If this don't work, then you can come
Okay.
and dig around for the what to do when something like this happens. Oh, it's working now, Steven.
All right.
You fixed it through your magical touch. Here we go. Hello, Miss Hazel.
Hello.
I need to change this because people use this laptop. It's been a good minute since we've spoken.
Yeah. How you doing? How's
Um,
everything going?
I'm doing well, all is well here. A very good subject that you chose. This is a very important subject in Buddhism. So no one's ever asked it.
Sorry, pardon?
No one's ever asked for me to go through all the different types of meditation.
Okay, so we might not be able, because I think I remember last time you told me that there are so many different types of meditation, right?
I already prepared
We
it.
might not be able. Yeah, we might not be able to go through all of them, but some of those types that, you know, before starting recording, before start the podcast, and of course, just like last time, I'm going to make the introduction by myself later on, and then we just going to start. Then just covering some of the times that might be helpful for, you know, mindset, for overcoming stress, anxiety,
Yes.
for, you know, for those things that might be helpful for people.
Yes.
Because there are so many different types. Of course, you are more specialized in that. You know more about that more than me and more than anybody else. So what I would want to know is that, for example, how we can do this. For example, how we can do this form of meditation so that we can get most benefit out of it, like we can get benefit from it. For example, if there's a special type of meditation for stress, how we can do that. What are those things we should do during the meditation?
Yes, got it. I got it.
So is there any question specifically that you would want me to ask you?
No, I think I know where we can begin with it. I pondered about it last night. I have a couple hours to put it all together, so.
Okay, great.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, just 1 minute.
There are students in the room with me, so they're gonna be taking notes too,
really?
because they're gonna be studying through these types. It's very potent what I'm about to teach, so very potent. It's like the best medicine in Buddhism.
Something that I'm really curious about is morning meditation. That I really want to learn from you, and I really want, because this is one of the most important type of meditation that people always talk about and focus on, and that can be helpful for actually achieving what we want to achieve next, or achieving our goals. So, okay, I'm going to start recording, and
recording in progress.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello, Master Spridau. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me back, Miss Hazel.
Thank you. Thank you so much again for taking your time and be here with me and with all our audience. Last time we had such an amazing podcast together, and this time, of course, we are going to talk about something, an important topic, one of the most important topics, like for me personally, and I'm sure that it will benefit a lot of our audiences. That we are going to talk about meditation, types of meditation, and how we can do this. So, Master Trita, again, thank you so much for taking your time and be here with me. So let's just dive in. Like, let's start by talking about this topic. What is your definition for, like, your definition from your point of view, from what you are doing? Um, what is your definition for meditation? What is meditation?
So meditation is a technique to calm the mind down so that we can achieve clarity in our life. When we look at our life slowly, thoroughly, carefully, we see that it is all over the place, that we are not psychologically organized. We do this, we do that, we jump all over. The things that we do subconsciously, unconsciously, is costing us peace, and that we are not free from disturbing emotions. And you have to ask yourself, are you prioritizing peace in your life? And what are the steps that you are taking to prioritize that peace? So, a lot of people cannot answer that. They don't know what peace is. And peace is free from disturbing emotions. Are you sleeping well at night? Are you eating okay? How are you getting along with people at home, work, and school? And these require some deep reflections so that they can make way into the practice of meditation in calming the mind down to a point where they can see things clearly to make better choices, better decisions, and understand the science of decision-making process so that you live a healthier, wiser, and more intelligent life.
Interesting. So, something that is really like I think about so many times, and I think some people are misunderstanding this concept and they are confusing these two things together. What would you say is the difference between yoga and meditation?
Yoga's been around for quite a bit, very long.
Mm.
Matter of fact, I tried out yoga not too long ago, maybe last week, and it really helps with being mindful of the body. Again, meditation is a form of mindfulness to help you be aware of what's happening, both mind and body. And when you are not in tune, in touch with your body, not understanding your body, not understanding what it needs, what it wants, how to calm it down, how to calm down the body. See, we just work, and then when we're sick, we take pills. And that is not a wisest way to yield to the human body. A deer, when a deer is exhausted, tired, or sick, it would lie down and rest underneath a tree. And we humans need to be in tune with our body, mindfulness of the body, so that we know when to rest and when to take your personal time off versus, just keep on going. For what? For the sake of paycheck, for the sake of money? Why would you jeopardize the one vehicle you have for enlightenment for money? Not a lot of people give too much deep thoughts about that, and thus making foolish decisions, costing them health.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. So, tell me, according to Buddha and your method like Buddhist methodology, how many types of meditation are there? Or is there one type, or how many types? I remember last time you said there are so many different types, right?
So when you type in Google different types of meditation in Theravada Buddhism, I belong to the school of the elders known as the Theravada, the original, the longest still continuing school of Buddhism. There's two primary types. There is samadhi, which is calming or tranquility meditation, and the other one is insight meditation, which is vipassana. However, I have decided to give you all a treat in also introducing you guys the book Visuddhimagga, The Path to Purification, where it has 40 different types of objects of meditation that you can use. And to me, and the way how I teach it, is that it has direct clinical applications for your life and the challenges that each of us face every day. What do we do when the 5 hindrances are there? There are obstructions to meditations, no doubt. That's why meditation is so difficult. And so these types of meditations are aimed at combating and overcoming the hindrances, which we will discuss. But if someone to ask me this, hey, in 10 seconds, tell us how many types. There are 2 primary types. And then the path to purification is also helpful and complements the 2 primary types in easing your spiritual growth, development, and progress if you were to adopt the Visuddhimagga within your training.
Okay, so I'm here to learn more about the types of meditation. I mean, which type specifically we can do so that it can help us while we want to overcome stress, anxiety. These things are really something that most people want to learn more about. Is there any specific type of meditation so we can do while we are stressed, while we have anxiety, while we have depression, so that it can help us to get out of this situation? And how many times we have to do this so that it can, we cannot get benefit from it one time, so we should do it so many times, right? So how many times we should do it and how we can do this?
So first and foremost, before we get there, I want everyone to understand the following, so that you make the best out of this informed decision. Is that before you meditate, you have to wrap up all the drama that's in your life. Okay, so everyone has drama in their life. The circle of friends, the mess that we've got ourselves into, money that you owe, bills that you have to pay, people that you are encountering on a daily basis. Meditation is virtually impossible, very difficult to do, maintain, sustain, if you have a lot of drama in your life. That's the first thing that one has to identify and accept. Whether or not I'm talking to the wrong people, wrong time, engaging in idle talk, gossiping, divisive speech, attached to worldly views, getting too wrapped up in politicalness, things that is not conducive to spirituality. Spirituality just means knowing you, knowing who you are, where you're at, where you're going, and who you want to go with. If everything that you do in your life cannot answer the question of, is this conducive?
Recording stopped.
Sorry, there was a cut.
Sure.
Yeah.
Recording in progress.
So a person has to ask whether or not these things that they're doing in their life is conducive to the spiritual growth and development. And then once you look at the details of your life, and one day you have X amount of hours, and how many hours are we sleeping? You need to answer that. How many hours are we spent exercising? These are regular routine maintenance of the human body that is necessary for you to be alert, awake, conscious, and breathing normally, digestive health. Okay, and once you look at the details in those hours of your day, how many hours are we dedicated to walking meditation, sitting meditation, reading the scriptures, and or whatever religious text that of your choice, and choice of philosophy and religion. Okay, when we prioritize peace and prioritize our health, we will be very mindful at every single hour of the day that we are doing. We would never foolishly sit there and watch a movie for 4 hours, wasting our life when we have active suffering in our life. My student, who is also sitting in this room, have been giving an hourly journal. So every day, on an hourly basis, they have to write down you know, what they're doing, how they're doing it, where they're doing it, and who they're doing it with, so that they're very mindful of the details and science of their life, blueprint of their life. So every time when I say blueprint of your life, that's what it means. So I want people to get these basic preliminary information before we jump into how to do it. Everyone's all excited about meditation when you see the commercials, the romanticism of meditation and mindfulness. That word's being thrown around all day, every day. But no teacher have sat there and said, listen, before we meditate, these are some of the things that you got to do to clear and pave the way for you to be more productive and to have less distractions. If you have enemies right now, who's after you? There's no way you can sit and close your eyes in at peace, no matter what techniques I'm about to tell you. Just because you realize they can barge in at any time, they're gonna find where you live. Or if you're a drug dealer right now, or if you're violating the precept in Buddhism. That is why in Buddhism we have the threefold training, and everything we teach in Theravada Buddhism is in order. And when it is done in order, it will be done right. And the first thing is to keep the precept, which is the gift of safety. Don't kill, don't lie, don't steal, don't touch, intoxicating substance, refrain from sexual misconduct, don't rape no one. So refrain, keep yourself from doing these things, refrain. And again, let's use the example of a drug dealer. How can you sit at peace, focusing on your breath, realizing that the SWAT team is going to knock on your door at any time because you're violating the laws of the common people? And, how, if we are abusing alcohol and if we're showing up high all the time, how is that going to be conducive to our practice when your mind is already tripping, your mind is already jumping all over the place, is already delusional, and adding intoxicating substance would not help you on that path. So again, the precept is the first thing. Then the second training is the meditation, also known as the cultivation of the heart. And then if you practice that right, it will lead to wisdom. It will lead to wisdom, making better choices in your life because you can see things clearly. Now, when it comes to meditation and its effectiveness when in treating depression or anxiety, one must know what depression and anxiety is. Anxiety is the apprehension of the future. We are 80% in one day always thinking about what we need to do next in order to ensure our survival. And we were just built that way. We were programmed that way as humans to always anticipate the next move or the potential next move of what will happen, gonna happen, may happen in one's life. So, but when our mind is left unchecked, it will throw us sideways, and it can get to the extreme form. A lot of people having anxiety to the extreme form, where of which they can't sleep. They're staying up hours and hours on end. They can't eat. They're shaking. They're using clinical medications to try to, keep themselves not falling apart because of anxiety. Sweating off the blood. There's all sorts of physiological responses when anxiety is left unchecked and untreated. Depression is recycling of the past, also a very vicious thing when left unchecked. Again, depression is their recycling of the past. It is the component of your mind naturally that is put in place to ensure your survival. And meditation aims to bring you back into the present moment, is that you are here, you are okay. You are not living in the past. You're not being abused, okay? There's no bombshells going off. No one's beating you right now. So things that have happened to a person traumatically, we remind them that you're here in the moment, here with the breath, here in the moment, and that you're safe. Also, meditation helps you to stay here and realize that whatever is yet to come is okay. What's going to happen is going to happen. If you follow these methods, you will be more organized in your life, and you won't jump all over the place. One who has anxiety is one who does not plan. One who does not know how to plan effectively in one's life. That's why they worry, oh, did I do my homework? Did I need to turn this in? You know, we have iPhones and iPads and MacBooks and whatever. So you are to use technology to your advantage in using the best available technology to stay psychologically organized, professionally organized, personally organized. We got apps that remind you how many glasses of water that you should drink, what time you need to go to bed, how many hours you've been. We have all this technology to help you stay organized. Why are you not doing that? Why are you still picking up the beer? Why are we still smoking weed?
True.
So,
True.
so therefore, again, you need to look at the details of your life and put it all in order to make way for meditation to be conducive and as stable as is ever going to be, and not jump all over the place. The first type of meditation that is being introduced to basic beginning lay people is samadhi in calming the mind, which is mindfulness of the breath, found in the Anapanasati Sutta. And basically, in its most simplest form, I teach the 4 techniques. The first, and all these will sound very basic and very elementary until you do them. And again, I want everyone to be aware of the lawyer in your head. Is that the lawyer in your head says, oh, that sounds like it's baby stuff and anyone can do that. I don't have to learn it and I don't have to practice it because he just told me what I needed to do. So I think I can manage it by just doing it academically or understanding it purely on logic and not buying through practice. And I'm going to
True.
tell all of you that it will not do you any justice if you utilize your intelligence for the wrong way. The smarter we humans have become, the more likely we get ourselves into this type of trouble, which is coming up with excuses and reason and not doing the work. Okay. So when you are back straight, shoulders relaxed, relaxing all the muscles in your face, with the 2 hands, the right hand on top of the left, with the 2 thumbs barely touching each other, mindfulness of your posture, back straight, your back is erected, with a small smile on your face, we enter into mindfulness of the breath. And we first take 3 deep breaths, and we notice the natural pleasure of the movement of the breath. And when we breathe out, we see that there's a relief. And then when we breathe in, and somewhere down the line, people will hold their breath just to play with their breath, just to experiment with the breath. And we just want to observe, we just want to watch. We don't have to force anything. Don't force the in-breath, don't force the out-breath. When we can see...
Sorry for interrupting. I just have a question.
Yes.
So while we're doing this, of course, we are going to close our eyes, right? Or we can do it with open eyes.
You can do it either way. For some people, they don't do well when things are pitch black, and it can be a scary thing. For people who have gone through trauma or certain psychological disorders, closing your eyes, they're like, oh, goodness, whoa. I'm in a dark space and there's no lamps around. So technically, meditation can be done with your eyes open. In its simplest sense, form, and definition, simply being aware. The goal of it is just being aware of where you're at, what you're doing, and where you are.
So the goal is, sorry for interrupting you sometime, I'm just trying to ask you some questions. So the goal is, while doing that type of meditation, is to just observe, think about what you are doing at the moment, what is going on, right? Not think about past and future and anything else.
Mm-hmm. And by
Am I right?
Yes, and by being in the moment of what we're doing and reminding ourselves is buying through the breath, the mindfulness of the breath. When the rising and falling of the abdomen reminds us that we are here. You are here in the moment. If you close your eyes or open your eyes and you take in breath and you realize your tummy is inflating like a balloon, and when you deflate, you realize, oh, that thing is there. I have this thing called a tummy. My diaphragm, my stomach, my tummy, and it's like going up and it's going down. You realize, I'm here. For students who are young, and if anxiety is too bad, I tell them to take their hands and put put it on the tummy and really feel you are here. All right. Sometimes people have to probably stretch their legs and touch the ground and realize that, look, you're here. You're not in the past. You're not in World War II. You're not in the Vietnam War. You're not back at home. You are not back at home as, wherever, certain place. Some people live with their boyfriends and girlfriends. And again, trying to crack the whip on the mind and say, hey, you're just simply here where you are right now. And mindfulness of the breath is just that. So the first technique is, after taking the 3 deep breaths, your mind should be calm. And we go into the breath with full intentions, realizing that we're going to be mindful of the natural movements of the breath without forcing it. Okay? A lot of people think that if they force the breath, that they would achieve enlightenment a little faster or clarity a little faster. It doesn't work that way. So we want to be the expert observer and witness to the breath. If I ask you to witness something, to watch something, to observe something, like traffic, then simply watch traffic. Just watch it go by. And you would mindfully aware which color car, what type of car, or whoever's driving the car, and try not to judge. Mindfulness of the breath is the same way. Breathing in, you're breathing in. Breathing out, you're breathing out. The key word here is knowing. Because now we take thousands of breaths each day. The question is, how many of those breaths do you actually notice? We don't notice them until we suffer a panic attack, an anxiety attack, or your body's so stressed out that you take those.
Or you have an allergy. Sometimes I have an allergy to cigarette and things like this. And at that point, I know the importance of all the times that I'm breathing normally and I'm not aware of it.
Right.
And that's so true.
Right. The second technique is the counting techniques. It's fun, engaging, and it helps you keep track. In breath 1, out breath 1. In breath 2, out breath 2. All the way to 10 and then backwards are my instructions.
Count it.
Count
Yeah.
it. Because these are all one-pointed concentration techniques, so that it keeps you on task, on point, with just that one object, so that your mind can only think one thing at a time. It can only focus on one thing at a time. And right now, the breath, the in breath, the out breath. Okay. The third technique is to analyze the temperature of the air that you breathe through your nostrils. And you would take inhales and you would ask yourself, well, is it 70 degrees in here? Is it 75 degrees in here? When we expand on the analyzing of the breath, we can also notice the rate and the rhythm of your breath. Some breaths are shallows, some breaths are long, some breaths are shorts. There's natural pleasure in the breath, but there's also some stress in the breath. Which I will touch up on why the noticing of the stress of the breath is important later. It provides a direct evidence to impermanence, and direct evidence to the 3 marks of existence. And then the fourth technique is what I was trained in and most extensive in the past 16 years of practice. I have 21 years of total practice, but the 16 years out of the 21 is this technique, which is in-breath But, out-breath Toll. In-breath But, out-breath Toll. It means Buddha in Thailand. All it means is the same technique that I taught you. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Because a Buddha is one which knows. That's it. One which knows. He knows exactly what is unfolding and what is happening in the moment.
Okay.
So that's mindfulness of the breath. That is calming meditation, also known as tranquility meditation. And if you search it, it's called samadhi. 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 Very effective in treating anxiety and depression in the beginning stages for beginners.
Okay, so how many times do you recommend doing this type for those people? Of course, you mentioned something. You said that those people who have stress, anxiety, they have to realize, they have to come to conclusion that, write down, for example, those things that caused them this situation and get rid of those things before even trying to come to meditate, right? But I'm sure that meditation in the process of healing from anxiety, from anything, will help them to do it faster, to heal faster. But how many times do you recommend doing this in a day or in a week so that it will help this person who has stress or anxiety or depression to heal faster, to go through the situation faster?
Yeah, so we monks have a lot of authority and a lot of power, so we have to be careful what we recommend because some people feel pressured when we say, oh, you should do it 20 minutes a day. But for beginning people, it's difficult. It's difficult because they don't know what to do when their mind is jumping. So you would start out with 2 minutes, 160 seconds. You put a timer on your iPhone and just you want to start noticing and noticing and then playing around with the breath and noticing your mind. Because as you're closing your eyes, you're doing something that the mind does not want to do. So you will feel a struggle. You will feel a natural push and pull. And when the push and pull happens, when your mind jumps backwards.
Sorry, I don't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Maybe connection because of overseas.
Maybe. Sorry. We were from that point. You said, starting from 2 minutes. Can you repeat that part?
So we start with 2 minutes, and you slowly increase that through conditioning yourself as you get used to it, and it becomes less scary, less difficult. During meditation, your mind will jump backwards and forwards. What do we do with them? When your mind starts to bounce all over, oh, I need to pay the bills, I need to pick up the kids, I need to talk to my husband, I need to email my boss, you just look at these thoughts and you just smile at them and realize it is the true nature of the mind to produce thoughts. That's it. It's just like the true nature of reality of a car is to produce carbon monoxide, the exhaust pipe. The true nature of a boat is to leak. The true nature of a light bulb is to burn out. Okay? Well, we don't have to spend too much time analyzing because that's the mind. The mind will produce all of these thoughts. Looking at the river of thoughts without judgment will be key in trying to progress and make meditation a habit easier for you versus you attaching onto them. What you don't want to do is to attach onto certain thoughts and start analyzing them. Like, oh, I can't, hold on, wait a minute. I'm closing my eyes, I'm meditating, and I can't believe she broke up with me. I couldn't believe she said that to me as when did that happen? Why did that happen? Where did it happen? When did that happen? Why did it happen? And your mind will play all sorts of tricks and you feed into it. That means you have already attached onto this thought and you're acting on it in your mind. You're getting yourself in more trouble. So you're not in the present moment, you're now living in the past with resentment, anger, and all of that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you starting off, you can do just a couple minutes and then slowly you increase it to 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. You keep track of this. You keep a journal. You write down your experience. If you have trouble, you ask a good, qualifying, authentic, experienced teacher to help you through the meditation process. Or anyone can reach out to me, and I will tell you, okay, well, we can adjust here, we can adjust there. We can recalibrate. Okay, it's not like black or white. It's like, oh, well, he told me to do the counting method, and I can't keep track after number 3. I'm just gonna give up. And that's what people do. They give up very easily without asking for clarifications.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's no different. By the way, it's no different than a doctor prescribing you medication. We're prescribing you meditation, and when a doctor is giving you medication, he's saying, take this once a day or twice a day, one in the morning, one at night, with food or without food. Or, and he's going to tell you this is going to take effect for 4 hours, it will wear off, and then you need to take the other pill here while you're awake and not asleep. he will give you certain specific instructions, and then along the way, you're like, well, I can't sleep after I took it, and you need to report that back to your doctor. It's no different in meditation that you report back your difficulties and hindrances to your teacher so that we can readjust our instructions to you.
Okay, that's so impressive. Um, if you have anything else to add to this time, because I want to talk about another type of meditation. Is there any type of meditation that we should improve our focus? Master 3.
This is actually a one size fit all type of meditation. The focusing, if you're able to focus on your breath, you're able to focus at home and work and school. When you make this into a habit, research have shown, and anyone can Google benefits of meditation and look up the empirical evidence-based and empirical data on replications of mindfulness meditation as how effective it is in increasing and improving focusing and helping people with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and any other distractions that keeps them from staying still. You know, we see multitasking and we're like, oh, I can do that. Yeah, I know you can. I know you can, but you shouldn't, because your mind is not built that way to multitask. You are driving yourself insane by multitasking. So doing one thing at a time, that's why it's one thing, one point of concentration, one thing at a time. Also walking meditation too. Everything we're doing is step by step, slow, thorough, and careful, so that we're conditioning the human to stop multitasking, stop doing so many things all at one time. And if you're careful at doing, then you see that, okay, when the doctor is talking to you, he's listening, active, deeply listening skill. He is focused on the patient. He is focused on the task at hand. He's not checking his iPhone. He's not going on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook while listening to the patient and figuring things out. So in your life, when you are studying, when you are reading, when you are cooking, just cook. When you're washing the dishes, just wash the dishes. You don't have to watch CNN while you're doing the dishes. You don't have to, as you're pooping, just poop. The Buddha said that. The Buddha says when you're mindful of pooping, darn it, just poop. Don't bring your iPad in there. Don't bring your magazine in there and looking at these things while you're pooping. Then you wonder why you can't poop. And you're taking an hour to poop. The Buddha said that. When attending to nature's call, just attend to nature's call. Words of the Buddha.
Okay, so you say that this, like being aware of our breath, this type that you just talked about, will also help us in improving our focus, right? There's one more type that I'm really I really want to talk about today is morning meditation. A lot of people just focus on morning meditation. Like a lot of even successful people, when they are successful, one of the things that they talk about in their morning routine, which is like, they say, have 10 minutes to meditate, 10 minutes to meditate. Some people say 30 minutes to meditate. So what is this morning meditation that all of these successful people talk about and they focus on?
Before we talk about morning meditation, we need to talk about sleep and the science of sleep. And yes, there's a whole humongous science about sleep and the benefits of sleeping correctly, looking at their circadian rhythm, looking at all sorts of rapid eye movements, and all of these research behind it. Again, look at the details of your life. What are we doing before we sleep? Are we exposed to light? Because we know we humans didn't have LED lights and halogen bulbs, thousands and millions of years ago. We simply had the moon and the sun. And once the sun went down, you went to sleep. Now we got iPads and we're stuck in it into our faces at night, and we're like, my parents are doing it. My mom and dad are like looking at TikTok at night, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And so these type of blue lights and light emitting diodes are affecting the way how we process, and it just messes up your mind. It really trips the mind even further, deeper, wider, the magnitude. And so dedication to sleep, understanding the benefits of sleep first and foremost, is compelling for you to take steps to sleep the right way and saying, hey, 9 o'clock, that's it, dude. No phone calls, no emails, know this, know that. Put your laptop where it needs to go, not in bed. Don't bring food in bed. Don't bring magazines in bed. Don't bring anything else in bed because your mind will start associating these objects in the room. And your mind's like, oh, it's okay. We can read while we're in bed. No, it's not okay. You're in bed. This is sleep time. This is a rest room. You're resting in this room. Just keep it that way and make changes right after this talk. Okay? Stop making excuses. Stop being logical. Oh, but I'm a CEO. I'm a vice president. I'm the COO. I gotta have my laptop with me all the time. No, you don't.
True.
Okay? And then, once you have adjusted your sleep to the proper recommendation according to the medical association and based on where you live, according to that authority, then when you get the proper amount of 6 hours, 8 hours, some people need 10, then we wake up and the first meditation has everything to do with intentions. So you can actually set the intention. If you had to do public speaking that morning, you would probably use that as a one-pointed concentration techniques. Same 3 initial deep breaths, and I think loving kindness meditation and setting the intention you would have a victorious day by wishing yourself well, happiness. May I be happy, may I be well, may I be healthy, may I be free, may I conquer my day peacefully. Then you set the intention with these type of manifestation. What's the word when you affirmations. You can use affirmation as a one-pointed concentration technique. So
you
that
say that, sorry for interrupting. So you say that while doing the meditation, we can use these types of affirmation and manifestations, right?
it's a
Can we say it, or just we have to think about it?
Well, I mean, obviously, I use the public speaking example because it's terrifying, first and foremost, to do public speaking or any type of meeting or PowerPoint presentation. So if you wanted to conquer that day, you would set your intentions. You obviously want to have a good, happy, healthy day. You obviously want to, tackle the day effectively, and that volition in mind. You have to, think about it. You set your intention and you sit and you meditate and you realize, I'm going to conquer my day. I'm going to conquer my day. In breath, conquer. Out breath, my day. Conquer my day. You can use that as the object of meditation, a one-pointed concentration technique to know that I am determined. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to do it in the most kindest, wisest way the Buddha would want me to do.
Impressive. So, is there anything else like about morning meditation or any other type of meditation that you would want to talk about before the end of this episode of our podcast?
You want to do it.
That is important.
You want to wake up early so that nice, bright, and shine. You don't want to wake up at 11 and start your morning because the day is almost over. And you need to hold yourself to that standard and not make logical excuses unless you have really dire medical condition where you are bedbound. But for the rest of the population that can get up early, rise and shine, a lot can happen one day, and make the best out of the day. Live this day as if it is your last. And I realized, Miss Amin, that 1 hour flew by just on one type of meditation. I didn't even get to touch Vipassana. So we're going to have more episodes about Vipassana. And I already have my laptop here for 40 other different types of meditation objects. So that means me and you need probably 50 more hours of talking.
Yeah, we will.
Oh my
definitely.
God. I was ready to go. I was loaded with ammo. I can sit here for 5 hours, Miss Amin. I'm pretty sure you can, but I can.
Yeah, I can. Definitely. Tell me more. I'm here to learn.
So, but I'm just now tackling your specific questions and using just the basic techniques to address some of these things. It does take, it varies per individual experience and per individual results. Results may vary, which is what we hear about medications too. Results may vary. And so therefore, you make this into a habit, you do this every day, slowly you start to see the incremental benefits for you, and everyone is different. Not everybody is the same. Each person experiences stress differently, and each person may or may not do this correctly. That's why you need the guidance of a teacher to keep track of you and you keep track of yourself. But making it to a habit, what is good is always going to be good. Planting the seeds, okay? But if we're not making any changes, and after this talk, you're thinking logically and, having that lawyer in your head, you're gonna go back to your old ways and your old days and your old habits.
Okay, impressive. In most of your lives, like you go live, and if I have time, if I'm on my phone, definitely I'm gonna watch your lives, and I see some of your lives you are beside like a sea or an ocean, and you do see meditation, right? I think there's a type of meditation that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to know, what is this type of meditation, and what is the difference between this type and another type that you are doing in a garden or in another place, or another type of meditation that you are doing, for example, on a mountain? What is the difference between these places for doing meditation?
Mountains, oceans, forests, 1, 2, 3, moves us away from humanity, moves us away from society, so that we're in quiet, at peace, and using the objects out in nature as the object of meditation itself. When I'm out in the ocean, the crashing waves remind me of feelings that come, feelings that go, feelings that come, feelings that go, the waves of our emotions. It reminds me of the depth of the mind, that certain things are surface level and some things are very deep. And it also reminds me of deepening my practice and meditate more often, so that I can swim a little deeper and be down there at the bottom of the ocean floor where nothing can disturb me. All of us are living on top of the waves right now, where the waves is throwing us all over the place, and we're like, oh, I can't believe I'm sad, he made me angry, she broke up with me, I got fired, I can't find a job, I want better pay. And you're just being thrown around by life, and your boat is not still. And so we want to have a nice, smooth sail, as smooth as it is ever gonna get through life. I mean, who wants to be on a boat puking? I can't. Just all. A lot of people go through life just throwing up. They can't stand it. They don't know how to deal with it. They have to use medication. So, up in the mountains, you have no Wi-Fi up in the mountains. You sit and you just use the wind in the mountain and the trees, surrounding trees, and realize that, the wind comes, the wind goes. It has to do with impermanence. Impermanence and ever-changing phenomena of nature. We connect mind with nature and nature with mind. And so you want to create the causes and conditions so that you get the most out of your human experience in meditation by going to these places away from New York Times Square, away from music, dancing, the clubs. Obviously you don't ever see people going to the clubs and sitting there with tequila and may I be well, may I be happy, may I get really drunk, may I feel the bliss of this Jack Daniels. You don't ever see that happening. Okay, so I hope that makes sense and give you all a nice smile and see life a different way.
Yeah, this was so. I really like the way you talk about all of these things with some of your jokes. Last time when I was like watching our own podcast, I was laughing so many times because you tried to bring some jokes into it, and I really like that. Thank you so much. There was one more question in my mind. Can we really use meditation for shifting energy, body energy?
Yeah, loving kindness meditation does that, because when we don't do loving kindness meditation, we get bitter at life and we get bitter at people. I mean, we do that. It's human nature to get angry at people, angry at ourselves, at our mistakes, and angry at other people for their mistakes. So we bring this type of agitated energy into the room, which I describe. Some people walk into the room and it feels like a funeral home, and some people walk into the room and it feels like Christmas morning. And so when we cultivate the cultivation of the heart, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be free, and then you expand that outside, may people in this room be happy, be free, be healthy, may they know what it's like to taste peace, may they be at peace, may they experience true inner liberation and freedom. Then we change the way how we see people and feel about them. Compassion arises out of deep understanding. When you really care about people, when you actually have a genuine empathy and sympathy for people, your energy shifts. And people, when you walk in the room, they realize that this is a person that is non judgmental. This is a person that I can be vulnerable with and share my deep, dark secrets, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And some people walk in a room and it's like, oh, girl, I don't want to tell you nothing. Because if I tell you, you might call CNN and the Wall Street journalist and tell all my business. So loving kindness meditation very effective, and a lot of people listen to the lawyer in their head and they're like, oh no, yeah, that's great. I already love people. No, really, who are you fooling? Your energy speaks off. Your energy introduces yourself before you even introduce yourself. Your energy has already done the work for you, and people already
That's
felt
true.
it. Once you open that door, people already felt that wave, and they're like, oh.
Exactly.
Mm.
That is why some of the times when you are in a room or in a place, a person comes to the room, and without you knowing this person, without you have you, I have never seen this person, but I don't like this person, and I don't know why, but I think that's because of the energy.
Yeah. Like, oh, girl, I need to go reach for my pepper spray. I need to call my best friend, and or they're like, oh my God, what an enlightened being that just walked. What is it about her? What is it about him that I really want to know? Like, I'm sorry. It's like, I just want to know your secret to peace. I'm sorry, you strike me as a very enlightened being. And I'm sorry, you strike me as, a person that's full of love and kindness, and you bring that energy here. It starts the conversation. Some people are so much at peace that they start conversations wherever they go. And the other thing is that when you're at peace, all sorts of animals come close to you during meditation in the forest. Because even animals can feel it. Even deers and mouse and snakes and rats and all sorts of raccoons and squirrels comes and they're like, wow, we can chill with him. We can chill with her. He's not gonna eat us. There's nothing about him that give rise to he's gonna kill us. He or she has kept the precept. So
True, impressive. Thank you so much for everything, all of this amazing information that you added to this episode of my podcast. If there's anything else that you would want to add to this episode, of course we will have more. But if there's anything you would want to add to these types of medication that we talked about, you can just add right now.
Start today. Follow the instructions as given. Replay this message again. You want peace in your life. You want the road filled with flowers and less thorns. You would do it. Or if you like the thorns that you're stepping on in life, go ahead. Don't listen to me. Well, what do I know, right? I'm just a young monk. I don't know anything. So you got to be paying attention. One who follows the words of the wise, one who follows the instructions of the wise, well, they would take the steps. I mean, I have nothing to gain in lying to you all or persuading you to waste your time. What I'm doing here is to help you be more effective and efficient. You follow these methods and instructions, you will make more money, you will be happier, you will be healthier, you will cultivate better relationships, you will have less hatred, you will have more people looking up to you, respecting you, asking you for opinion and advice. You'll be looked upon as a wise and noble person in society. And you need to ask yourself if that's what you want for you. Or we can go back into our old ways and our old days, because no one can save you, no one can, no one may, said the Buddha.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for taking your time and be here with me. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching another episode. Thank you so much, and hope we can have more of these episodes of these podcasts together. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.